When it comes to fast, easy to put up meals on a weeknight, I mean, damn, can't beat this. Now, we've already made beef with broccoli on this show, and one might think you could just swap chicken and you get chicken with broccoli. But what I found is chicken requires a specially formulated sauce that just pairs a little better with chicken. So today I'm showing you 2 tricks to Chinese chicken with broccoli takeout that gives this dish all the velvety, glossy chicken that you expect from a restaurant. This is chicken with broccoli in a brown sauce. Now, one reason my stir fries always sucked was because I never did this part. So you get dried, overcooked chicken 99% of the time. But when you velvet a meat, you break it down, it becomes more tender, silky almost. That's where you get the word velvet. So that's what we're going to do today. And it starts with 1 chicken breast. This is a big one. This could probably feed 2 people. But what you notice about a chicken breast is that the meat fibers run 2 ways. One this way, and then where this seam is, they start to go the other way. How do I deal with that? Just gonna slice and separate the 2. So now the meats are running long this way and long this way. Now this is a long piece right here, and it also tapers. So I'm gonna cut it right sort of where it tapers. And so now, sort of at an angle, I'm going to start to cut thin slices. Little pieces like that. Cut right across the grain, nice and thin. Take that, throw that into a bowl. Now same thing, fibers are running this way. We're gonna start at sort of the point, and just thin slices. You could even from there, cut them in half like that, and then you can sort of get even thinner slices. If you want, you could cut this in half, butterfly it open, and then same thing, just smaller pieces. And same thing with the last piece. Fibers are running this way, so I'm going to slice against them. You don't want to saw it, smooth strokes. Now the velveting process is simply like a marinating process, and what we do is we start with a little bit of soy sauce, but I want to kind of not soak it. I kind of just want to lightly get enough in there that all of those pieces sort of lightly absorb the soy sauce. To that, I'm going to season the chicken with some salt, a little bit of neutral oil, maybe a tablespoon or 2, a tablespoon or 2 of water. Then we're gonna add in some baking soda. This is a tenderizer. This is what's gonna help break it down. Maybe like a 1/4 teaspoon, not too much or you can taste it. Then about a tablespoon or so of cornstarch. Then we're gonna start to work it in. We want it to sort of tighten up, almost create somewhat of like a batter around the chicken. Now I'm gonna take my hand and work that. Kind of wanna tenderize it a little bit. Get that marinade beat into it. Let that baking soda start to go to work, and it's gonna come out like velvet. This is gonna sit in the fridge and marinate while we prepare the rest of the ingredients. Now the next trick is how to make this sauce, and it is starting off with a common base. I'm gonna make this smaller portion, probably for 2, but the sauce is gonna be for 4. You can either use half of it or save it, or use all of it if you're cooking for more. But it starts with a 1/2 cup of chicken broth. If you can get it on the lighter side, that's better. And I almost don't want that sauce to be too dark. I like a little lightness to it, almost like a reddish lightness. To that, I'm gonna add a 1/4 cup of soy, so half of the 1/2 cup. So already that lightened up. 1/2 tablespoon to a tablespoon of oyster sauce. It's gonna give it almost like a barbecue kind of vibe. Then a little dark soy sauce, just for a little bit of color. Maybe like a teaspoon. You can always adjust these things later. Some sesame oil, 1/2 tablespoon, a tablespoon and a half of vinegar. You can start with like a tablespoon or like a capful. See how acidic you like it. I like mine a little zingy, so I put a 1.5. We got some chicken bouillon. It's not the secret, but it's definitely a secret. I'm gonna use about a 1/2 of a package. 2 tablespoons of sugar. And then the secret to get that color, that flavor, ketchup. I'm going in with about a 1/4 cup to a 1/2 cup. Don't you hate when that happens? Hope that's enough. Then we're gonna give it a mix. Give it a taste. Just gonna hit it with a little bit of salt, but that tastes nice balance. A little acidity, not too much. It should sort of make the rounds around your tongue. And why do Chinese takeout restaurants in America use ketchup? Because generally where they came from, things were spicy. To adjust to the American palate, this helped add a little sweetness and something a little familiar, and it's just become an iconic part of some of these sauces now. It's the same thing in General Tso's chicken. The final thing to this sauce, a tablespoon of cornstarch. The cornstarch is gonna be the thickening agent. As soon as this hits the pan, this should tighten up, and we've got a perfect little sauce. Now we just need to prep our aromatics. I've got 2 cloves of garlic, and then I've got a little knob of ginger. Now I don't like a lot of gingers. I like a subtle kind of background hint. I'd hate it when it overpowers it. So what I'm gonna do is just take a little slice like that, a little nub, peel off the skin. And now for me, that's enough, right? And so what we do is we cut it so that the fibers are exposed on that flat surface. A little trick from Yen Can Cook, place the knife down, like so. Instantly minced. So we're gonna get that mince into a little bowl. Same thing with the garlic, right? I'm just gonna cut off the ends and the top, and we're just gonna cut little segments like this, and same thing, minced. Now when I cut garlic for Asian dishes versus Italian dishes, I almost never smash it. To me, Asian dishes are much more garlic forward, and Italian dishes, it's much more of a subtle thing. The more you chop it or beat up a piece of garlic, the more garlic flavor you get, as opposed to if you slice it, you're breaking much less and you're getting a more subtle garlic flavor. How you cut it controls the flavor. Now last but not least, we've got our broccoli. In the spirit of like a Asian restaurant, I'm just gonna go ahead and keep those heads beautiful like that. Just gonna take my knife and go around releasing the florets. If you ever got a bigger piece, you could just break it down a little bit more, or you could just cut it in half. Now I've got my velveted chicken. I've got a pot of water boiling, heavily salted because the broccoli is gonna blanch in there for a short amount of time. So the shorter it cooks in water, the more heavily you can salt it. And then I've got a bowl of ice to shock it. Then I also have some white rice cooking. Got this automatic grain cooker. This is not an ad, but I've just been using it for a few months and I really like it. Kind of loads up the rice, pours in as much water as it needs. And we've got perfect rice ready to go. Now before we get cooking, let me tell you something. If you're paying thousands of dollars a month on housing and you're not earning anything in return, I'm about to show you how to turn your largest monthly expense, your rent, into valuable rewards thanks to our sponsor today, Built Rewards. Let me explain. When you pay rent through Built, you earn Built points. There's no cost to join and you can start earning rewards on rent no matter where you live. Built points can be transferred to your favorite airlines and hotels or used towards future rent payments, Lyft rides, student loan payments, and more. Built is also unlocking experiences and VIP treatments around your neighborhoods like complimentary add-ons on Built partners and comedy and dining experiences. Built transforms the spending you're already doing into an opportunity to earn rewards and unlock the best that your neighborhood has to offer. And Built's actually been ranked the highest value point currency by the Points Guide. So if you want to get started earning rewards for paying your rent, sign up for Built Rewards through the link in my description or scan the QR code up on the screen right now. Make sure you use my URL so they know that I sent you. It's one of the great ways to support this show. Now let's get cooking. In that pot of boiling salted water, drop in your broccoli and keep them moving and cook them for about 2 minutes or so. It's gonna vary depending on the size of the florets. While that cooks, I'm gonna get the pan I'm cooking the chicken in preheated. We're gonna make sure we get this nice and hot before we add any oil to it. Now it's been a little over a minute and I'm gonna start fishing out the little tiny broccoli florets. Those are obviously gonna cook a lot faster. Then closer to 2 minutes, I'm gonna start checking the stalk of the bigger florets. I'm just looking to feel for the tough fibrous stalk to slightly soften on the exterior. That's about the time I like to pull them out of the water. And then drop them into ice water to shock them and stop the cooking. And we can fish them out and then let them dry while we sear the chicken. By now the pan should be very hot. Mine's clocking in at around 300 degrees Fahrenheit. Now is the time I want to add the oil and I'm going to add it around the edge of the pan so that it flows down and covers the sides. This saucier is almost like a wok. Once you add the oil, immediately add the chicken and just start to break it up and spread it out. And you'll notice right away that the chicken isn't sticking. It's sliding around the pan, but it's also browning very quickly. That's what preheating the pan properly will do. That should only take about a minute or two. We're gonna cook it just until it's browned and there's no more visible raw spots left. And right when that happens, we're gonna add in the garlic and ginger and get that tossed in and fragrant. To that, we're going to add in the broccoli. And then we're gonna go in with a few tablespoons of the brown sauce to start. I start small, can always add more later. Once that sauce hits the pan and starts boiling, it should immediately start to thicken. Then we just wanna cook and toss that chicken and broccoli in the sauce and reduce it down until that sauce starts to glaze that broccoli and chicken. Once that chicken and broccoli is nicely glazed, it's ready to serve. We're gonna take a nice platter as if we're in a nice Chinese restaurant, and we're gonna spread a base of white rice in the center. Then we're gonna arrange the broccoli around the rice. Usually you see it blanched and then served, but I like my broccoli glazed in that sauce. Then on top, we're gonna finish it with the glazed chicken, piled nice and high, and then top it off with any leftover sauce. And there you have real takeout style chicken with broccoli in a brown sauce. I mean, damn. I've had this dish at a lot of restaurants. There's a few I hold to high regard. I'm betting most places you order Chinese food don't make it that good. Chicken is tender, velvety. There's no toughness to it at all, no chewiness. That's the thing that turns me off about bad Chinese. The broccoli's cooked, still has crunch to it. Having broccoli and brown sauce was my first introduction to how broccoli could taste good. When it comes to fast, easy, stir fries, easy to put up meals, on a weeknight, can't beat this. You're also gonna wanna check out my Patreon cooking school down in the description. It's like a new interactive way to teach you guys how to cook. I run it like a school, 2 new episodes, shot in a different way, a live stream where we all come together and I judge your homework, and you get direct access to me. All over on Patreon, building a fun little community over there if you wanna check it out. Links down in the description. That's all that I have today. I'll see you next time. Until then, take care of yourself and go feed yourself.